We're back. It's tied up right now, 1-1. Sue against Stats. Stats last game with a pretty impressive play, despite the failed DT opening. You know, he managed to stay safe. Sue really committed to the mutas. He had that last engagement, didn't quite work out.
I don't know if that was truly the best choice. Kind of a weird game, I would say. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one, but we'll see. Nimbus next map, a really big map, 4-player, you could start anywhere. Will Sue open with a pool first? Will Stats open with a cannon rush? We'll see.
Looks like we're going to find out right now as game number 3 has loaded up. In the bottom left, in the red, he is
KT roster Stats.
And in the upper left, in the orange,
SK Telecom T1 Sue.
Hi, Tosis.
Yo, tasteless.
Sup, dude?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
That's good. That's good.
I am enjoying this PvZ so far, and I'm excited about this PvP we got next.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that PvP, no doubt.
It's kind of cool that that's actually going to be the last best of 5 here in this phase of the tournament. I think it's the best way to end it.
Yeah, I mean, those two are just God mode Protosses. They're so by far the best 2 Protosses. All right.
That spells Sue.
No, that's 500. Wow, Tasis, you don't know your numbers very well.
Okay, so we have Nexus first for Stats. That is spotted immediately by the scouting overlord here for Sue.
Yeah, he doesn't get to see it quite yet, but looks like both players just going for economic openings here. Even going to go for the gateway as opposed to a forge or anything like that. No Tom Forgery going to be going on. No shenanigans.
Oh, you're funny today, Artosis.
I'm always funny, aren't I?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all the time. Yeah,
all the time?
every time. Without
Never
fail.
have a joke fail?
No, never.
Thank God. I knew I was perfect. I just needed someone to finally tell me. See, Mom, I told you.
You were wrong all along.
Yeah. All right, well, that's a nice late pull right there. He'll scout it, realize he's completely safe. Probably not making any zealots or anything like that. And going to be a little bit. We're going to have to see what tech routes they want to go for.
This will be a passive opener for these two.
Yeah. It's, you know, quite a big map overall. Now, this is definitely a map I wouldn't mind seeing Sue go for mutas on. You know, that back natural can be pretty tough to defend. I'm still a little bit... Still thinking a little bit about that last game. Like, Stats' defense is really quite fantastic in this matchup. You know, I think the one big mistake was when he attacked all the Lings and mutas.
Well, you
the
saw
force fields.
In that final attack too, when he was hitting him, and he was losing a lot of mutas, and he saw it. He was going to leave, and then he saw that the Archon was getting low.
Yeah.
And he came back in there, hit it, and then as he was leaving that attack, he just left the game. He was just too behind, but Sue seemed to be more interested in ending that at a very specific moment and just overwhelming his opponent. Unlike, for instance, game number 1. That was definitely a game where he said, okay, Stats went for a tech route, and it didn't work at all, so now I'm just going to close this out.
Yeah, very true.
And it didn't work. So we have the Stargate coming over here now.
Yeah.
We'll probably see Oracles.
Yeah, you would think an Oracle. The thing is, he didn't make a Stalker before, and he's actually starting a Sentry as opposed to a Stalker, so denying the scouting is going to be impossible. He's going to see the Stargate, which would make an Oracle really weak, so he might actually just go Phoenixes because this Overlord is headed in. Because Phoenix is like, even if you see them, they still do what they are supposed to do.
Yeah, they'll still get the job done. They'll still drive out the Overlords. And here's that Overlord now, spotting the Phoenixes, and you were 100% right, Artosis. There they are now. He's going to go ahead and rally that first Phoenix to take out that Overlord. And from here, it does look like, for at least the time being, Sue is not going to take the other Overlords outside of his base and hide them. He's actually still branching them out, which could hurt him later on here.
Yeah. Let's see what these Phoenixes get done as far as Overlord kills. You get at least a few of them, I'm sure. And, well, you think he's just going to go straight into Colossus from this? I think he basically has to, unless he wants to do a big gateway attack.
We'll have to see. I mean, he might throw up a few more gates now. He's got 2 more on the way, but that's not enough for it to be some kind of special gateway timing.
Yeah, like he could do something like I guess a 3-gate pressure with Zealots. It's actually a build that's still good if you pull it off. You know, it just kind of rotates in and out of popularity, but the gateways aren't really lined up with the warp gate. It doesn't really have a probe out or anything like that. So
yeah, this looks like it should be a pretty passive build for the time being. Just Phoenix is coming around here, scouting and pushing Overlords away. We do have 2 Overlords at the upper right side of the map, but for the time being, he's just going to go ahead and try to take out a few drones here and there. It's pretty easy to pick off those drones that are mining gas, usually just barely out of range of the Spore Crawler.
We do have more Phoenixes still being produced. The layer starting here for Sue. And getting a couple Evos as well. I think realizing probably that this game is not going to end too quickly. Sue doesn't really like to just make a bunch of units and end it a lot of the time. He likes to get ahead economically and then...
Unless it's that last game we saw, but that was not a normal Sue game.
Yeah. We'll see what he actually wants to go for here. Should just be a Colossus plus 3rd base coming out of stats.
Okay, he's going to try to just cut off a few more drones here. Back by the minerals. And with that Mothership Core coming out now, he can drive away that Zergling and probably expand there shortly. Protoss does have actually an excess in minerals and gas here. Not sure what exactly he's going to be tacking to, but right now, we saw even a little bit ago, he was already up to 600. And he's still sort of getting close to floating in that area. I don't know where his money's actually going. Okay, we see the probe coming down here now. Now he's going to expand, but this is a little bit later than it's supposed to be. It seems like Stats' rhythm is a little bit off.
It does seem that way. I'm a little bit confused by that as well, Tasteless. And I think he should have already made the robotics support bay. I'm confused. And he makes it now, but he had the money all along. And you normally make it before the Nexus because you really need to get a Colossus out ASAP.
Yeah, what's weird about it is there's no reason why he would have wanted to get it later. It's not like he had a Ling in his base scouting him, so he just wanted to wait for that to die off or something and then make the tech. So this is a little bit weird. I will say, flying around with Phoenixes and trying to take out drones and scout and pick off Overlords can get you a little bit too preoccupied with unit micro that occasionally you do begin to fall behind with your production back in your base as Protoss. But in a moment like this deep in a GSL, this is definitely not the moment to let that happen, you know?
Yeah, I gotta agree.
We got a big gateway explosion over here at the 3rd base.
He's going right up to 7
Twilight
gates.
Council here too.
Getting kind of everything he needs to get at the moment, but I do agree, like, his Phoenixes have done fantastically so far. I think he's killed off, what was it, 825 minerals worth of units of his opponents, but I think it's, like, actually oftentimes more important to just make sure that your build order is actually on key. You're getting your units out at the right time, because, like, you know, this is pretty significantly later for the Colossus than what could have been. He could have started that, like, kind of at the same time he started the robotics bay.
You know, the Colossus is a great unit to highlight that. Why the timing is so important is because the Colossi, they increment out. So if you get that robo bay, let's say, you know, a minute later, that can be like 1 less Colossus in your big battle.
And that changes everything in a battle, the Colossus number. That's like one of the most important things.
Especially when you see in a game like this, we had Zerg making some Corruptors.
Did he make Mutas? I could have sworn we saw Mutas on the production tab.
I thought I saw 5 making there.
I think so, but
I don't see them moving around on the map, though, unless he's pooling them somewhere.
Yeah, there's something fast flying. I think it's Mutas. That looks too fast for Corruptors. I'm pretty sure he made some Mutas. All right, we'll see in 1 second here, no doubt.
Oh. We're not going to go to them yet. Those are the Lings.
No, we're not going to show you until they actually start killing things, I guess.
There they are.
Okay. All right,
Mutas
I see what's going on. Yeah, this is actually kind of cool by Sue, because he's gone Mutas every game, even when it doesn't always make the most sense.
Yeah.
But this is actually fake Mutas. He's going to force stats into really countering Mutas hard. Look at this. He's going Infestors, getting a Hive, and getting 2-2 for Zerglings, which means I think we're going to see him go into Ultra Infestor Ling, which he's very good at. It's extremely strong, especially defensively. He's going to be on these 4 bases, and if we have stats spending any additional money on these Phoenixes, that is against Infestor Ling Ultra. Phoenixes are the worst thing you may as well fight with probes. They kill Ultras just as well.
We have Sue getting into a really nice spot here for the late game.
Yeah, I really like it. I think he's in fantastic shape here.
Yeah. We have the fake Phoenix coming out here, and he sees those infestors, so he's going to know, okay, clearly this is a huge tech switch here.
Yeah. He sees the Hive pop. This should be the end of his Phoenixes. In fact, he adds a second Robo. Perfect. This way he can get out Colossus very quickly against, any infestors and lings. And then, of course, he's going to have to get Immortals as well. You need a really good balance of both against an Ultra-type build.
He does take out that probe over there that was going to make that additional base. And now he just darts out. Right now, map control going to Protoss here, since Sue was doing tech switches. I don't know how far in, though, he can go into the Zerg's territory right here. We see he's even pulling Queens now. So he's actually ready to full-on engage this this army here. That may trigger stats to back up, especially when you see all the Queens pulled like that.
Yeah.
So you know the Zerg means business.
Oh, man. Okay, that's a good recall right there.
Oh,
he actually
didn't
recall
some of those
the
Phoenixes.
Oh, that's actually a little bit painful, but it's not the biggest steal because there's really not that many mutas. But, I kind of liked the move, the idea of the move by Stats to get out there and push back some creep because against someone that goes like Ultra Infestor, Ling Queen, Corruptor type of build, you literally just can't fight on creep. You can't do it. If you go on creep, you're going to lose unless you're way ahead. And even then, a lot of times you'll lose because this composition is just so insane on creep. So he needs to keep that pushback for sure. He needs to secure this 4th base, and then, realistically, this game could go extremely long, Tasteless.
Yeah, we have all these links coming down here now. They could, if Sue wants them to, target the Nexus, and they're going to do that right now. That Nexus was pretty far along in its construction, but this will be saved here. Sue's Ling's now going down. Probably going to go through the second and into the main. Nope, that was denied as well.
Colossus and Zealot up there. You don't want to go up there.
Don't mess with that.
No, certainly not.
161 to 174 right now.
Yeah, quite a good amount of supply for both players. But again, this type of Ultra composition, we'll see what Sue does with it. Sometimes he does attack into Protoss with it because he is such a good Zerg, but I feel like Stats is one of the best defensive Protosses in this matchup that I've ever seen. Especially tonight, he's just been spot on with his defense. So I think attacking it is very difficult.
Okay, the Lings are doing a decent amount of damage here, but with the rest of these Stalkers and Colossi coming up, he will push it out. We had a bunch of Broodlords morphing up there. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, a lot of the anti-air was picked off back there.
Yeah, that's true.
So the Broodlords can do more damage for longer up here. With Queens and Infestors coming up here, and especially some good fungal growth, that's really good. That's really, really nice.
Against Ultras, that is, invincible.
To cage out the Ultras.
Yeah. But with the Broodlords there, it doesn't work quite as well. These Broodlords going to do a great job, especially against Immortals. Immortals hate Broodlords more than anything in the whole world. They'd rather be EMP than fight against Broodlords. So could be a bit tough, but you know what? He's got the production. He's making some Tempest to go with this, and not stopping his Immortal production. He's not gonna just lay down and die to these Ultras.
Well, one nice thing for Stats too is this 4th base should be able to stay up if he just keeps his army comp right and engages correctly. The Protoss on 4 base, that's a big difference between 4 base and 3 base. Oh, nice lone pick here.
Yeah, that was
on
good.
That Immortal. Those Immortals pretty important against the Ultras.
Yeah.
Which are in good number here for Sue. And did he outposition the Protoss? The army was not up here to help defend earlier.
Well, it looks like he's going for it. And, of course, he does have detection.
Does he only have
so
one Overseer, though? I think he only has one.
Well,
wait, no, there's more coming up here. There's 2 more.
Yeah, there are. And Fungals also can help out with that. But it looks like he's actually going to end up wiping out most of this. Thing is, we do have some Tempest coming up. He's going to lose his space, unfortunately, though.
This got Shrek'd, man.
Well, he's backing up because he's basically killed the Ultras out, so he needs to keep these expensive Robo units alive. But
you know what's funny about this? He can use the high ground here.
Yeah.
With the Broodlords, and then have the Infestors down here, too.
Yeah, very true. Well, we've got to see him right now somehow take out these Broodlords and push them back. But losing that 4th base is huge because right now Sue is actually on 5 bases.
Yeah.
So that's a real issue.
Like you can be 1 base
those
down. 2 Queens over there at the upper left, the left side of the screen.
They went the wrong way. They went the long way down. Well, these other Queens will be taken out, so he'll get some Infestors there as well. That was, I guess, overall it was a good hold, but losing that base is very painful. The one really redeeming factor, I guess, for Stats is he kept alive a good amount of his important units. including right now he has 6 Immortals, and Su is remaxing mostly on Ultras, it looks like.
Yeah, 7 of them being made now. Ooh. Oh, nice. Coming down here with these lings. He blinks away.
All right. Well, actually,
he takes out a lot of
lings
those.
Lings with up. 3-3 upgrades are pretty good.
Right here with the
God.
lings. Look at this.
3-3 lings. Take a break.
Oh, my God.
Look at those try-hard lings killing everything.
That did a lot more damage than I think everybody was expecting it to.
Yeah, I think even Su's like, oh, wow, yeah, 3-3. Damn.
These things only cost minerals.
Adrenal glands. Oh, my God. Who thought of that upgrade?
Well, my concern now is that Stats' 4th base is once again going to be very vulnerable. Like, yes, Ultras suck against Immortals, but with this many lings, the damage output's insane.
I think he's picked off the good units enough times and enough of them that he should be able to roll through him.
This is basically how Protoss lose in late game, is when they just can't rebuild their unit comp, because late game Protoss unit comp is pretty hard to get the right balance of.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say you just take out all the robotics facility units. It takes so long, whereas Zerg can make everything from the hatch.
I know, it's pretty unfair, right?
It's pretty imba, man. I'm still crafting my email to Blizzard, so.
Yeah. Well, Su has played this really, really well. And, you know, I felt like Stats played it pretty well also. But that one time getting him out of position with everything really messed things up for Stats. And you can see he still hasn't recovered. He just doesn't have the army that he needs to be able to fight this. And if he had 4 bases this whole time, like if this was the 5th base that kept dying and Su had 6 bases, he would actually still have a chance here. But as is, this is like a very nearly unwinnable situation.
I think, yeah, Su's just going to try to penetrate into the main here.
Well, does have to back up for now.
I think that was the best move for the Ultras to pull out there.
Yeah.
That would have been completely not worth it. He would have ran into the main, and yes, he would have done a lot of damage, but eventually the Ultras would be cornered and picked off.
And that's like the one way to really lose a game you're way ahead in.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to get this base again here.
Wow. He's just outmaneuvering so heavily. This creep spread going all the way down there really helping him as well.
Yeah, Su is just too good at outmaneuvering.
Yeah.
The Protoss here.
He is all over the place.
I mean, yes, part of Su's strategy is winning him the game, but the majority of this is just his ability to be everywhere.
Yeah.
To completely outmaneuver Stats at every step of the way.
He's an omniscient Zerg at the moment.
Oh my God, nice fungal.
Ooh.
That gets destroyed right as fungal wears off.
Well.
He has 16 more lings and a few more corruptors coming out here, and I think he's just going to go for the killing blow now. He's got almost double the Protoss' supply. Look at this.
Yeah, look at this. He draws him over here. He's like, okay, I'm going to go kill that Nexus again. I think Stats is going to GG in a second here. How many times are you actually going to remake this Nexus?
Well, what's sad for Protoss is Protoss never really got to go out on the map either.
Yeah.
At this point in time, Su is actually acquiring the upper right side of the map. No way I think Stats can recover and get a win here. He's going to have to win the next 2 games. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, you're very right about that. Su has just completely outplayed him this time. I really do like the way that Su played this game. After 2 games going Ultras, Mutas, one of which was a little bit questionable to go Mutas, really puts you in that anti-Muta mindset, and he kind of, you know, got the upper hand on composition, got him out of position, and took the game. It was really well done.
Giving it all he's got right now, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Too many Corruptors here who can all soon be turned into Broodlords, especially when you look at the bank right now for Stats.
Yeah.
He can back right up now. Was there any arrow left? No, there wasn't anything. So, yeah, he could just go back.
Well, he's just going to keep making Ultras. He's being
there's a lot of ways
stubborn.
to do this. This is a choose-your-own-adventure of win right now for Su. This is...
It's well said.
There's many right ways to finish this off. Okay, so I think we need to give Stats a punch card for every time he remakes that Nexus, so hopefully after about 8 of them, he can get one free. This is...
Normally it's 12 nowadays, 12 Nexuses for 1 free Nexus.
That is such a ripoff.
I know. Paying $4.50 every time.
I know, are you kidding me? I've been to some sandwich places where it's like 20. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I have to go here so much. You know I'm going to lose this card before I have 20.
Yeah, that's
okay?
the point. That's the point. You got to just stand at the counter and be like, can I have your stamp?
I should
like
just
that
punch him at home. That's what I should
it's
do.
an actual punch?
Well, you could do it. Be like, we have to use a stamp to be like, I don't know, the other guy did it when I was here.
Oh my.
All right, so Protoss is dying.
No, that is it. And
Protoss
Sue
is
will
frying.
take game 3.
Yeah, GG.
Mutas are
Nicely
flying.
done. Mutas are flying. Zealots are frying.
And Stats is sighing.
Yes. Nerds on the internet probably whining.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Tasteless is mining.
Yeah. And Artosis is smiling. We're here at the GSL. 3 games so far. Sue in the lead. That was a pretty convincing victory there from him.
It was. He, like, that outmaneuvering, what an issue that is, right? Because look at how far Stats has to walk to defend that area.
Yeah.
And look at how quickly Sue can get there, especially since his creep was all the way down. Like, we even saw Stats go out early, clear some creep, but Sue's like, this is getting right up there because this area is too wide for you to truly defend.
How many times was that Nexus canceled?
Like, I would say
it was
5.
like 5, yeah.
Yeah.
This is pretty brutal. That's a perfect example, though, guys, of a Zerg player winning regardless of how good the Protoss' strategy or build is. He just outmaneuvers you.
Yeah, yeah.
Despite, for instance, Stalkers being quite mobile, despite the fact that Protoss can actually recall to a Nexus that's under attack, when you get a Zerg that has Lings with speed, that has Mutas that can fly anywhere and harass,
Yeah.
and the fact that Protoss oftentimes is splitting up what it has to be a balanced unit comp.
Well, yeah.
There's a lot of different ways Zerg can punish it, and Sue did it that game.
And you know what? I do want to jump back to the part where he made him go to Stargate Phoenix.
Yeah,
because
please.
that's really tough because he could have theoretically made more mutas even though he was teching up a bit more. I wouldn't have been optimal though. But like just that little group of mutas forcing Stats into more Phoenixes right then, cutting off some of his other production, that made it so that Stats had to go through the back path to try to defend the 4th and the 3rd. And that allowed Sue to outmaneuver him that one time because he like overmade those Phoenixes. You know, it all comes back to like these small things that Sue did that threw Stats off just enough so that Stats couldn't walk forward to defend. He had to walk back to defend.
Time for map number 4. It's going to be Overgrowth. Stats is really going to have to pull it together here. Sue is looking very scary, very godlike.
I mean, if Sue wins, it's no surprise to anybody. It's got 3 finals in a row. Can he make it 4?
At this point in time, Sue winning is to be expected. He wins. He's been winning so much this year.
If he actually got 2nd place again, what would that even mean?
That
Yellow. No one would even remember
reality is
Yellow
stranger
anymore.
than fiction.
Yeah.
So unheard of to get to a GSL finals repeatedly. This guy's doing it consecutively.
Yeah. I think, only MVP has been to more finals.